Good morning, scholars. Today we're going to continue our progress through the prologue of Euripides' Heracles Furens, focusing on lines 44 to 47. Egode, leipe garme tois dendomasen, tropon teknon oikuron, αινίκα donos μέλαιναν orpnein, ese bine paisemos, sulmetri, tekna me danos Heracles, bomon katis do tonde soteros dios. Now we will not consider the last line, bomon katis do, until our next lesson. However, it's important to understand, to include it in this one, because it contains the main clause upon which tekna me danos Heracles, the dependent clause, hangs. So, egode, leipe game toisen domasen, tropon teknon oikuron, αινίκα donos μέλαιναν orpnein, ese bine paisemos, sulmetri, tekna me danos Heracles, bomon katis do tonde soteros dios. Okay, so in the first line, egode leipe game tois dendomasen, we have an example of the poetic placement of a preposition. As Smythe explains in 1664, in poetry, a preposition is often placed between an adjective and its substantive. Very rarely does this happen in prose. So he gives the example of toiade in taxe from Plato. However, tois dendomasen is not run of the mill, but it's common in poetry. Our example is common in poetry where the preposition en occurs between what's roughly speaking an adjective, toiste, and domasen. So as opposed to in tois domasen, we have tois dendomasen. As far as vocabulary goes, tropos, tropu, ho tropos is a nursemaid or a nurse. This is from the verb trepo, which is to feed, to bring up, or to rear. And then we have teknon, teknu, ta, neuter, which is from the verb tikto, to give birth to. So teknon is a child or that which is born. Tropon teknon oikuron, αινίκα donos. Oikuros-ον, concerning a watchdog, is its job of watching over the house. So, οΙκουρός-ον, a watchdog. But in this context, it's used of a man and was used in Athenian culture as a man in a contemptuous sense of a stay-at-home man, as opposed to one who goes off to fight to war. So, tropon teknon oikuron. αινίκα is, again, going back to our chart of correlative adverbs. These are a selection of the adverbs of time. So you see on that first line, palte when, but beneath it, αινίκα, at what time. More specific, αινίκα, at what time. Τενίκα, τενικade, τενικauta, at that time, the demonstrative. But here we have the relative specific, αινίκα, at which time. And then, last but not least, the indefinite relative or indirect interrogative, ηνίκα. So, αινίκα, at which time, is an example of these correlative adverbs, and it's just very important that you have this chart at hand and to refer to until you have it in mind. Okay, so tropon teknon oikuron, αινίκα donos μέλαιναν orpnein, ese bine paisemos. Melas, mέλαινα, mέλαν is black, dark. orpnein, he orpnein, is the darkness of night, or here, the darkness, the gloom of the underworld. So, tropon teknon oikuron, enikat donos melainan orpnein, esebane paisemos. I want to point out here, we see the transition over the lines, enikat donos melainan orpnein. It would be very hard and very stilted in English to have the genitive modifier come first. When of land, black, gloom, when of the underworld, of the earth, black gloom, he entered, my son, mine. Henika donos melainan orpnein esebane paisemos. But in Greek, once one gets inside the world of Greek word order, by benefit of the case endings, it is quite natural to have this order of genitive modifier and then accusative, adjective, and then accusative noun. Donos, melainan, orpnein. Very natural in Greek, very stilted if you attempt such thing in English. So this bit ends with a negative purpose clause, and we saw earlier an earlier positive purpose clause. Final clauses, or purpose clauses, denote purpose and are introduced by hina, hos, hopos, or negatively by hina me, hopos me, hos me, or by me alone, lest. And that's what we have here. And in 2196, we just referred to the sequence of tenses. The verb of a final clause stands in the subjunctive after an introductory primary tense, and in the optative after a secondary tense. So here we have sunmetri tekna me thanos Heracles. And tekna, of course, is a neuter plural. So it's here the subject of the subordinate clause. Tekna me thanos Heracles. Okay, lest the children of Heracles be killed or die. Be killed, be murdered. And we see that subjunctive, thanos, is dependent on the primary tense, katisdo, of the following line, bomon katisdo ton des soteros dios. So we have thanos, the subjunctive, which is dependent upon, it does not follow, but is dependent upon the katisdo, the primary tense of the main clause. So, ego de, lepe garme toistendomasen, tropon teknon oikuron, henika donos melainan orpnein, esebane paisemos, sunmetre, tekna me thanos Heracleus, bomon katisdo tonde soteros dios. Okay, so let me just read that, pausing at the caesura, so you can repeat after me. Ego de, lepe game, toistendomasen, tropon teknon oikuron, enikat donos, melainan orpnein, esebane paisemos. Sunmetri tekna, me thanos Heracleus. And as I said, we'll consider line 48 in the next lesson. So if there's anything that you didn't understand, please just ask your question in the comments. Thank you very much for watching this video, and keep working hard on your Greek. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.